And the matter of ultimacy is not addressed. So as you say, you even have, to one degree or another, practiced, in one manner or the practice as my devotee for 28 years, and nothing has come of it. Nothing has been achieved by it. And in fact, you didn't even do what I said. So you've been disinclined toward what the practice is really about for 28 years, and yet occupied with it in some manner or another, by revising it, avoiding it, playing with it, whatevering it. Similar history relative to emotional sexual matters, you see. You can't look back at a lifetime of being occupied with sexual things and say, nothing came of it. What was supposed to come of it?
Yes, right.
What could possibly come of it? You're just eventually older and probably somewhat worn out or less interested in it. And certainly, eventually dead. So, what was it supposed to achieve anyway? Was it supposed to have a kind of end phenomenon? Was sex supposed to have an end phenomenon? Achieved by the time you're 60 or 90 or something? Does it have an end phenomenon? Was the kind of life you have lived, supposedly as my devotee, supposed to realize me? What you actually did? Could that have possibly realized me?
No.
Then to find out or come to the conclusion after 28 years that it achieved nothing, why should that be a surprise if there was a seriousness about this matter to begin with? If you observe your own disposition and behavior and choices and so forth over the 28 years, it's perfectly obvious, it should be, why nothing came of it. Is it? Why waste 28 years figuring that out? Nothing came of your life before those 28 years either. And you made the choice to be my devotee and still didn't change anything about it. You tried to continue doing the same thing that you already knew very well had failed at having any ultimate importance or result, and you applied it to being my devotee. To be my devotee requires something greater. It's not a continuation of your ordinary life, not if it's truly lived. You see, to revise the way to fit egoity is not to live the way at all. It doesn't fit with your life, just as it doesn't fit with so-called civilization or whatever there is left of whatever is happening that could be called civilization anymore. It's not fit for spiritual life, but it never was supposed to be. I mean, why should there be any despairing of of mankind? It's all useless. Look, after thousands of years, mankind is still unenlightened and self-destructive. Well, what did you expect anyway? Did you really think, doing all the things that people do, collectively and individually, that however many thousand years later, everybody was going to be in utopia and awake to the ultimate? So civilization, even in its degraded present state, is not purposed to realization. So to merely live the social life of an ordinary participant in the collective design and the personal formulation of it that comes about by being simply a member of society, like a part of a tribe or a member of a primate group somewhere, you see. None of that is about realization, and why should one despair after decades of doing it that it didn't become realization, or it didn't become ultimate fulfillment or happiness? And so what reason would you have had to think that it was going to be that? You just went along with it, and what did you think was going to come of it? Anything different than came of people before? They all did the same thing. They all made the same choices. Everybody basically born 2 generations before you was already dead when you were born. Why did you think anything different was going to happen with you and the people you knew? There was no reason to expect that. You just went along with the game, and then you want to act disappointed at some later time? Well, the same with this revised Adidam that you all tend to make with one another. It's not going to become realization. Just as it's not really devotion when you do it in the present. It's not the way that I've given you. It's, as I say, recreational religion, consumer esotericism, and so on. It's just ordinary life being made into a mummery that looks Adidamish. It's the same thing that everybody else is doing. What's the difference? There is no difference. It is the same. You want it to be different, then you have got to become my devotee for real and take your vows seriously and live by my word of instruction. And when you're given the opportunity to ask me a question, for instance, realize who you are asking this question, who you are addressing it to, and why you're coming to me. What is the point of this? Are you here to realize me or have me entertain you or be a social other for you or something? Are you surprised when I just dismiss questions as I appear to be doing tonight? Am I doing this just to make a point, or am I just not feeling like playing the game yet tonight? You see? Yeah, well, I don't feel like playing the game, but it's also not what I do. You see, I have work that I do, whether seeming to answer a question straightforwardly or to dismiss it, I'm still addressing the same limitation that's approaching me, the same mama, the same ego. Now, will you be my devotee, or you want to play games here? You want to play on me? You want to be the pretend devotee? You want me to act like I don't see what's in front of me? I don't know when people are lying to me. I can't see what's in front of my face. You really think that that's true? Really? Don't tell me stories.